The forgotten warfront. The war had dragged on for years, far from Earth, deep in the stars beyond the outer line. The united colonies were losing ground. One planet after another had fallen. The enemy, known simply as the Creel, came with strange weapons and endless numbers. Most of the galaxy had already surrendered. The Council begged for peace, but peace never came. The Creel didn't stop. They didn't talk. They just burned everything. On the edge of a broken moon, a small human listening post sat quiet and hidden. The station was run by a few dozen crew, mostly there to monitor signals and track enemy fleet movements. Among them was a young officer named Liam. He didn't speak much. He just watched the screens every day, waiting for something, anything, that could turn the tide. That day, something different happened. A ripple moved through the void. Not a normal signal. Not enemy movement. It was bigger. Stranger. One of the scanners blinked red. Then another. Power surged through the station's main console. The crew scrambled. One shouted, "Something just dropped from hyperspace right on top of us." They all froze when they saw it. The ship was black. Sharp. Quiet. Massive. Its name echoed through the comms like thunder, USS Blackstar. Liam's mouth went dry. The name wasn't in any database. No official record. No call sign. Just silence. And shadow. Some said it was a myth. A secret project Earth had buried long ago, but here it was. Real. Alive. The Blackstar didn't send a message. It didn't ask for docking. It just moved, smooth. Cold. Purposeful. Within minutes, it vanished again into the dark. And then, everything changed. From a distance, the station's crew watched as a Creel destroyer fleet appeared, chasing a small group of retreating human ships. The humans were outgunned and outnumbered, but the Blackstar arrived before the first shot hit. Liam leaned forward, eyes wide. The ship didn't fire with normal weapons. It used something else, something no one had ever seen. The stars around. It twisted. The enemy ships seemed to shake, then disintegrate. No fire. No wreckage. Just silence. Gone. Did it just erase them? Someone whispered. The crew stared, frozen. The Blackstar turned, scanned the battlefield, and disappeared again, like it had never been there. No one on the station spoke for a long time. But deep in their minds, they all knew one thing: the war had just changed, and the Creel had no idea what was coming. The black signal word of the Blackstar spread fast, but only in whispers. The official reports denied it. Command said the Creel fleet was destroyed by advanced orbital mines. No one believed it. The crew of the listening post had seen it with their own eyes. And soon, others did too. A week later, in Sector 41, an entire Creel armada was wiped out in less than 60 seconds. No distress signals. No survivors. Just the same signature, twisted space, a flash of black energy, and silence, but still, no recordings. No proof. Command refused to speak on it. But those who had seen it began calling it the ghost of Earth. It moved without warning, struck without mercy, and disappeared without a trace. And wherever it went, the Creel died. One of the few who dared to speak openly about it was Commander Drew, leader of the battered warship Resolute. He had watched his ship nearly torn apart during a battle near the mining colony of Delos 4, until the Blackstar arrived. It didn't just fight, he told his crew after the battle. It judged. People started to wonder, what was the Blackstar really? A weapon? A ship? Or something more? Meanwhile, far from the front lines, Earth's high command sat in silence. In a dark chamber deep beneath New London, a group of grey-suited officials reviewed a private stream, grainy footage of the Blackstar tearing a Creel command ship apart. One of them finally broke the silence. It's awake again. The others nodded. It wasn't meant to be used. Another whispered. We locked it away for a reason. We had no choice, said the first. The Creel pushed us too far. Now, it's loose. But can we control it? That question hung in the air, unanswered. Back near the warfront, Liam's station had been upgraded. More scanners. More eyes. More ears. They were tasked with one job now: track the Blackstar. Every shift, Liam scanned the void, looking for That ripple in space, that sudden bend in gravity that meant the ship had arrived. And then, one night, the signal came, the same strange pattern, the same distorted energy, but this time, it was headed straight for a civilian colony in the Vega Belt. Liam's heart sank. Why would it go there? That place has no military value. But the answer came fast. A hidden Creel base. They had been building something beneath the colony's surface, something powerful. Something terrible, and the Black Star had found it. Without warning, it dropped into orbit. It didn't speak. It didn't threaten. It simply began the process. From space, watchers saw the clouds part as a beam of deep blue light pierced the ground. Mountains shattered. The sea boiled. The entire Creel base vanished in a heartbeat. But not the colony, not a single human life was lost. The strike had been perfect, surgical. Liam stared at the screen. It's not just destroying the enemy, he whispered. It's protecting us. Behind him, his commander looked nervous. Or it's choosing who deserves to live. Asterisk whispers among stars. The Creel were silent for the first time in the war. 4 years, their advance had been unstoppable. Planets burned. Ships shattered. Peace was a forgotten word. But now, the Black Star had turned the tide, and everyone knew it. Except no one could find it. It left no trace, no trail, and no reply. The Creel didn't send scouts anymore. They sent whole fleets, and even those vanished. Back on the listening station, Liam was reviewing the latest reports. He sat with a small team now. Everyone on the post had been assigned one task: study the Black Star's behavior. Where it appeared, why, how it chose its targets. But no pattern could be found. Some believed it was artificial. A war AI gone rogue. Others thought it was piloted by a hidden human crew with top-level clearance. A few even claimed it was a live. One officer on the team, a quiet analyst named Myra, leaned toward Liam. What if it's not following orders, she said. What if it's following instincts? Liam looked at her. What do you mean? I've seen every engagement. It doesn't just destroy military targets. It targets fear. Chaos. The worst of the Creel. It's a judging. Before Liam could respond, a high-priority alert flashed on the main screen. Distress signal Sector 92, mining outpost Nora 7. The feed crackled with static, then a voice, shaking. And afraid, this is Nora 7, we need help, the Creel found us. We can't. The message ended in static. Nora 7 had no defenses. Just miners. Families. Liam jumped to his feet. How long would a strike team take to reach them? Too late, said the commander. By the time our fleet arrives, Nora 7 will be gone. Everyone in the room stared at the screen, helpless. Then, a second signal appeared, different, unmarked, faint, but familiar. Myra gasped. It's the Black Star. The Creel ships around Nora 7 began to vanish, one by one, on the feed. Not destroyed. Erased. The Black Star didn't fire like other ships. It tore through space itself, like it commanded reality. Within 90 seconds, the Creel fleet was gone. The people of Nora 7 stepped outside their shelters, blinking at the sky. No smoke. No damage. Just silence. Then, for the first time ever, the Black Star sent a signal. It was only one line, broadcast across secure human channels: we protect our own. Across the galaxy, humans read the message. Soldiers. Civilians. Refugees. For the first time in a long time, they believed again. Hope returned, but far away, deep in the Creel War Nexus, the enemy had also received the message. Their High Lord clenched his claws over a map of human space. Activate the Warden Protocol, he growled. Why? Asked one of his generals. The High Lord's eyes narrowed. Because we are no longer at war with humans. We are at war with something far worse. Asterisk. The trap laid in silence. The Creel were not fools. They had studied war for 1,000 cycles. Their fleets were vast, their weapons brutal, their empire spread across half the known galaxy. And now, they faced a single ship, a ghost of war that moved without a trace and struck with precision no living mind could predict. But they had a plan. The Warden Protocol. It was an ancient Creel tactic, only used once before, long ago against a species that no longer existed. It required patience. Bait. sacrificed. A single colony, a planet called Derrix 3, sat on the edge of the war zone. Human scouts had visited it once but deemed it worthless, no resources, no life. Now, the Creel filled it with ships. They broadcast a fake emergency signal, mimicking human distress. Pain. Suffering. A perfect trap. Back on the listening station, Liam and Myra were watching the transmission. It's a fake, Myra said at once. The data's wrong. The signal pattern is too clean. But it looks like a human call, Liam said. If we see it, the Black Star might too. They both went silent, the command room filled with tension. If the Black Star responded, it might walk right into an ambush. But they had no way to warn it. No direct contact. No known channel. It appeared when it wanted, vanished when it chose. All they could do was wait. 3 hours later, the stars above Derrix 3 twisted. A ripple passed through the darkness. The trap had been triggered. The Creel fleet, more than 300 warships, locked weapons, anti-singularity cannons, fold disruptors, temporal mines. Their strongest weapons, all focused on one point. The Black Star emerged, but it didn't look the same. It moved slower. Its edges flickered, as if weakened. Liam stared at the feed, horrified. It's a smaller. The Creel fired everything. The sky turned white, shockwaves rippled for light years. The signal went dark. Then silent. Myra covered her mouth. They got it, she whispered. They destroyed the Black Star. Across human space, fear crept back in. Command issued alerts. The Creel had succeeded. The ghost ship was gone. And without it, the war would return to its old path, slow, losing, hopeless. But Liam kept staring at the screen. Something felt off. The Creel was celebrating too loudly, and then, just 3 hours later, a second signal appeared, not from Derrix 3. From inside the Creel War Council's main command ship. A single sentence broadcast across all human and Creel frequencies: you struck the shadow. Then a second signal, calm and final: now, the fire comes. On the Creel capital ship, lights died. Hulls twisted. Energy imploded inward, and above Earth's skies, a new form took shape, twice the size of the first. The true Black Star had never been at Derrix 3. The one destroyed was only its echo. A decoy. The real one had been watching, learning. Now it was done hiding. Rise of the real Black Star. The galaxy trembled. 4 years, the Creel had conquered without pause. But now, their War Council ship, untouchable, ancient, hidden in deep space, had been destroyed without warning. There was no battle. No alarms. Just darkness and the message: now, the fire comes. Across human colonies, people came out of shelters. For the first time in a generation, they believed they might win, but Earth Command was quiet. Deep beneath the surface, in a room with no windows, the top military minds sat in silence, watching the footage of the true Black Star's emergence. It was massive. Nearly the size of a city. Its black hull shimmered like a void, bending light. Symbols ran along its edges, symbols not human, not Creel, but older. One officer whispered, that's not the same ship. It's something more. It was never a warship, another muttered. It's a warning system. From who? The general asked. No one answered. Back at the listening station, Liam and Myra stared at the latest scan logs. They had been tracking every energy wave, every gravitational ripple from the moment the real Black Star revealed itself. It was heading toward the largest Creel fleet in known space, nearly 5,000 ships gathered near the binary system of Varnus. Why would it go there? Myra asked. It could pick them off, one by one. It's not hiding anymore, Liam said. It wants them all to see. The Creel were waiting. They had reinforced their entire fleet. They brought every dreadnought, every plasma forge, every command cruiser, but none of it mattered, because when the Black Star entered the system, the stars dimmed, literally, the binary suns flickered, their fusion destabilized for 3 seconds. Instruments across human space registered the anomaly, and then it began. The Black Star didn't fire missiles or lasers. Instead, space itself shifted. Gravity turned in strange directions. Creel ships lost navigation. Some collapsed inward, some vanished entirely. Others simply stopped existing. It wasn't just a fight, it was rewriting reality. The Creel fired in panic, releasing every weapon. But their shots never landed. They bent away, absorbed into a field no scanner could detect. Liam watched in awe. It's not using shields, it's bending the rules. Within 6 minutes, over half the Creel fleet was gone. In the last moments, the Creel sent a desperate transmission, "What are you?" And for the first time, the Black Star responded to them, "We were created by your fear. Perfected by your war. Freed by your mistake." Then, silence, not just in space.in minds, because the Creel weren't just losing ships, they were losing connection. Hive links were severed. Thought chains were cut. Their species depended on it, and the Black Star had found a way to take it apart. It didn't just defeat their fleet. It broke their mind. One Creel ship, shaking, surrendered, something they had never done in their history. The crew broadcast a message to the humans: end us, or save us. Just don't let it come back. But the Black Star didn't return. It had already moved on to the Creel homeworld. The day the sky wept, the Creel homeworld had never known fear. Their species was born in conquest. Their civilization was built through domination. They had no word for surrender. But now, as the true Black Star entered their system, the skies above their crimson planet turned dark. Before the ship even fired. It didn't orbit. It loomed. The Creel scrambled. Every defensive platform activated. Generals screamed orders. Entire continents lit up with shield fields and orbital cannons. Their strongest minds formed a psychic barrier, a wall of thought stretching around the planet's core, and still it wasn't enough. From deep space, the Black Star released no weapons. It just watched, and then something strange happened. Across the planet, Creel soldiers dropped to their knees, clutching their heads, screaming. Some tried to speak. Others fled. All of them felt something: regret. For the first time in their history, the Creel remembered the faces of those they had destroyed. Not numbers. Not enemy tags. People. Worlds. Families. Sounds of the dying they'd ignored. The Black Star wasn't attacking their bodies. It was rewriting their minds. One by one, memories returned. Empathy they had buried. Pain they had caused. Every decision made in cruelty reflected back at them in perfect clarity. On Earth, the humans received the recordings. Audio. Visual. Data streams. The Creel were begging not for peace, for forgiveness, but Earth Command gave no orders. They knew this wasn't their war anymore. The Black Star had taken it into its own hands. And it had passed judgment. In the capital tower of the Creel Empire. Their supreme mind, once the most feared being in the galaxy, stood on a balcony as the sky above cracked. Not from heat. Not from fire. From thought. He whispered to his guards, "Do you hear them?" They nodded, trembling. "Yes. We hear all of them. The voices of the fallen. Every victim the Creel had silenced." Echoing back, across the galaxy. Stars dimmed for a moment. Not from destruction, but from silence, because after the sky cracked open, the Black Star did something no one expected. It left. No destruction. No final blow, just one message broadcast from the center of the Creel Empire: you are not forgiven. You are broken. And now you must rebuild. And then it was gone. Liam, back on the listening station, read the final signal. Myra sat beside him, stunned. It didn't destroy them. No, Liam said softly. It gave them a chance. Asterisk. Echoes of the Black Star. The war was over, not with a treaty. Not with a final battle. But with silence. The Creel fleet stopped moving. Their invasion ceased. Their ships returned home, not in victory, but in surrender. All across the galaxy. Space traffic picked up again. Trade routes reopened. Colonies rebuilt. And in every human station, one name was whispered with awe: the Black Star. Its last message had been simple. Cold. Unforgiving. Yet fair. The Creel had been given a choice. Not redemption. Responsibility. Some tried to flee their past. Others fell into madness. But many, surprisingly, began to change. They opened channels with humans. They sent reparations. They returned prisoners, one by one. Liam watched it all unfold from his station. Every message logged. Every transmission tagged. The war had made him cold. But the end of it? That gave him something else, hope. He and Myra often sat quietly now, watching the stars. She was no longer just a data analyst. People from command visited often, asking for her insights. She never bragged. She just observed. And she never forgot. The look on Liam's face when the first Creel ship broadcast peace point one night, a strange signal came through, barely detectable. It wasn't a transmission from a ship or a station. It was gravity, bending just slightly. Space folded inward for a moment. Myra stood. That's the same pattern we saw before, she whispered. The black star. Liam leaned forward. Where? Edge of our system. But it's not staying. Leaving. She nodded. No battles. No threat. Just a gone. And then came one final signal, only visible to those who knew how to look, not words, not sound, just coordinates. To a system no one had visited in over 1,000 years. A dead world. Blackened. Quiet, the place where the Black Star had first been made. Earth Command decoded it silently. Some whispered it had been built there by an ancient branch of humanity. Others believed it was never built, it had awakened. A response to what humans were becoming, and what they might become again. Myra looked at Liam and said softly, "Do you think it'll return?" Liam didn't answer right away. He stared out into the void, then said, "Not unless we make the same mistake twice." The galaxy began to heal, but the memory of the Black Star never faded. Children on distant colonies played with models of the ship. Elders told stories of the day the Creel were broken. Soldiers carved its symbol into armor, not as a weapon, but as a warning, because they all knew the truth. The Black Star still watched, and if the galaxy ever fell into darkness again, it would return. Asterisk.